I have interacted with a lot of farmers, a lot of you out there, and that one big question that I get at the end of the day is, how do I manage workers at a farm? Or how do you manage your workers? This video is not only for people who are intending to start or who are in farming per se, but this video is actually to enlighten you more when it comes to handling workers. It could be workers at your shop in town, it could be workers at the farm, it could be workers at your home. I mean, what do you do to ensure or make sure that you have a good relationship with these workers and make sure that they do perform to their extreme? And by this I mean they perform better. If it's your first time passing by at the Duke's farm or on this channel, please make it a point to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on different social media platforms at Dennis Duke Eugene. So to start with, I've always told you that do not look at farming as a hobby, look at farming as a business. And when you look at farming as a business and you get your huge sums of money and invest into farming, please do not leave that investment in the hands of your workers. Usually I tell you to be there, monitor, supervise, among other things. It is what you supervise that gets done, not what you expect to get done. And I have expounded more on some of the mistakes you should avoid in my previous videos, so please look through in my channel. You will definitely get all those videos. Now, how do you handle workers at your farm? Most of these guys do not have the required competence in terms of training, in terms of expertise to actually start or run these ventures that you're entrusting them with. So the first thing you do is get this person, or maybe let's start from where do you get this person? Get this person maybe from a remote area and bring them to the farm, because such people don't have lugezi-gezi. They're really showing interest in this. They'll listen to you, they'll want. But if you get somebody within town, somebody who has been exposed to money, all they'll be looking at is money. And I usually tell people that if you find a farmer or a worker who is basically more interested in making money as opposed to work, then you have a huge problem, because then they're not going to be trustworthy at the end of the day. And before you know it, you've trained them and they've left, okay? Point number 2 is make a background search on this particular person. Sometimes we get people without actually getting to know who they were before. Some people have theft history, robbery history, adultery history, alcoholic, or some of them are defilers or rapists. They have those small details about them. And you bring somebody of that nature at your farm to manage your farm, and they cause trouble for you. We've experienced that most cases. Or they go and steal a neighbor's whatever. Don't have such people on your farm. So please first do a background check, know who this person really is. If you can go where this person is born, maybe talk to the parents and ask them, please do that. If you can get an identification, maybe an ID of a sort from them. Maybe you take a very good record about these particular persons in case of anything. So for example, they've committed a crime outside your farm or within your farm, because they could mean to steal your farm one evening, and then boom, where do you start from? So you'd want to know where I can locate this person just in case anything happens. Number 2 is train them. Train them. Like I said in the beginning, most of these people we get to work at our farms don't have the competence. And some of us really have failed to employ people who went to school to study agriculture as a course. So we want to use cheap labor. Uganda is full of, has high youth unemployment. Therefore, there's cheap labor. So the fact that it is cheap labor, some of these people are not competent in terms of specialities. So you need to at least get a person that is technical to come to your farm and train your workers. Or pick your workers, bring them at the Duke's farm and we train them, because you'll be doing everything in vain. Most of you attend trainings, attend seminars, do the research, but you fail to pass that information into your workers and then expect things to get done at the end of the day. That's how you make losses. Sometimes these farmers don't know anything, and then they've come to manage your farms, and before you know it, things have actually gone what? Gone wrong, okay? I usually also advise farmers to get people who are self-driven. I don't want to find something wrong and then I tell you that, hey, do this. I want you to see something that is wrong and you do it. Self-driven people make life easy, make life comfortable. And you can't have a successful farm when you have to tell your worker to do everything, like almost to direct them on almost everything. Because sometimes you're not there. They have to take charge. They have to know that, hey, this is wrong. It needs to be done like this. So if you don't have such a person, it's going to really be very hard for you. Also, in choosing a worker, make sure you choose a worker that, that has passion for some of your projects. You may not, of course, like I said, see this in the beginning, but as you monitor them, you realize they do or they don't. If they don't, you can try to lure them into having passion for these animals. Finding a worker that has passion for whatever business you want to make is one step towards the right direction. Okay? So make sure you do that research on that particular person as well. Motivate your farmers, your workers. Motivate them by giving them one of the things that you do at your farm. So for example, if I have rabbits here, what I do, I will want to pick one rabbit and earmark it. So I'll earmark one rabbit and say, this so and so, this is your rabbit, please take care of it. Whatever comes out of it is yours. This and this, like 2 rabbits, it doesn't hurt. 2 chickens, it doesn't hurt. Maybe you can give them a kit. That's a young of a goat. Yeah, you just allocate them and say that kit is yours. When it grows, you can do whatever you want with it. By doing that, you'll be motivating this worker to work very hard and impress you because they feel they've been, appreciated, okay? Another thing that most of you mistake, number one, that you do when it comes to workers is making them feel less of who they are. Sometimes I usually tell people that when you're relating with somebody, make sure you create a boundary, you create a line to know that, hey, this is my boss, this is my worker. When you find me at the farm, you might think these are my co-directors or something because I so relate with them very well. Like we can even joke, we can make fun, but they know that when I say, hey, do this, it's actually an order. Not like in a bad way, but it's like a command or something. You understand? So that they now don't mix friendship with work. I just want to have this smooth relationship with them without actually having my work or my farm, compromised at the end of the day. Everything continues smoothly. We joke around. We make all the fun that we want because work without play makes Duke a dull farmer. Therefore, don't have this entitlement of, yes, I'm the boss, I'm the CEO, I'm the director. So everybody at the farm is like, no, feel free. But please make sure they know the boundaries. Make sure they do not joke towards maybe making you feel less of a director or a CEO. But the idea is have this kind of relationship with them that makes them feel like they are part of the business. And I told you to help them understand their duties. By helping them understand their duties, you're literally saving yourself from too much supervision. I said that sometimes these farmers or workers make a lot of mistakes because they don't know what they are supposed to do. But when a worker comes into the farm, please make it known to them of their duties that they are supposed to carry out on a single day. Me, I am even going to a point of making a rota. By rota, I mean the things like having the names and activities somebody is supposed to do in a single day at the farm, so that I don't come at the farm and find the toilets dirty and I ask who is responsible today. No, make a rota, let them understand, learn it, and eventually they'll be making things work according to the way you want them to work. So don't be selfish. Always share opportunities. If you realize a worker is very competitive and there is, an opportunity elsewhere where they are actually going to be paid much more than you do or much more than you can, please show them the way. I know that they would be benefiting your farm, but do not shatter somebody's light just because of your selfish desires. If you think somebody could do better and can even earn much more and make themselves better, please share the opportunity. If you can't, then create the opportunities at the farm for somebody to multitask and get some money and better themselves. Some of the monies that we give these workers are actually not really that juicy per se, and I usually tell my workers that the monies I give you here is literally for upkeep, like just to keep you going, but there is much more money that I expect to give them at the end of the day. That's if we start diversifying the Duke's farm, have rabbits, have goats, have chickens, have cattle, have sheep, have fish. So you realize that they'll be making a lot of work, or they'll be having a lot of work, and I'll be forced to actually double or triple their salaries depending on how hard they will actually be working. Another thing that I forgot to talk about workers is when you have different ventures at the farm. Now, I know most of us want to save on the cost of actually paying another worker or an extra worker, so we use the workers that we have already at the farm to introduce a new venture. The challenges with that is this one venture that they're doing, unless it's not so tiring like the one I have, I usually advise people that every venture at least attach somebody. If you are going into, of course I'm talking about people in going maybe big scale, medium scale, something there, okay? Try to get every project spearheaded by one worker. These other ones can just, offer a hand of help, but have one person that is very liable, somebody that is going to be answerable once you find things messed up. Otherwise, if you use these same people who are crossing into chickens, to rabbits, to goats, to crop, like, get a life. These are just people. They can't be everywhere at all time, okay? Try to get another worker, because equally this venture is going to give you money. You just get somebody, one person, and these ones offer support to this other one. That's just a simple trick, eh? I hope you have enjoyed this particular video. Until then, it's a goodbye. I talk a lot, but I hope what I talk is sense or helps somebody out there. Goodbye.